Marty,
Hey,
what's good,
what's up,
brother?
Noble? Chilling like a villain, man. I actually had something that I put together real quick. It's a minute, and I think that this is the perfect thing to understand a segue right into this conversation.
Go ahead.
So, all right, so allow me to play this for you guys. Here, check this out. I've seen guys speak to women with this much respect, and I deplore that. My mother's told I grew up. My mother raised me, so I have this much respect for women, and I fight often because of that, and it gives me a lot of friends. I get a lot of friends because, but I get a lot of friends because I have respect for women, ultra respect for women. But then, like I was liking this girl in Tam, and I'm extra nice, extra gentleman. I'm extra just like, oh, you're beautiful and you deserve the best. And she told me I was too nice. I couldn't believe it. It wouldn't work because I was too nice. That was the ultimate stab in the back. So I went through a week of just going, forget it. I'm just going to be like them because they seem to get the girls and they call girls the B word, and they smack and beat and they're getting girls and I'm going peace and I think you're beautiful and they're going, well, I like him because he's masculine. I'm masculine. And with the guy, and like yesterday, he was cursing, and I was like, "Don't curse!" And he got mad at me because I told him not to curse. But my plan is that if I keep telling girls not to let them call you these names, and if I keep saying it, it's going to catch on because the girls won't allow them to be their boyfriend, and they're going to speak to them like that, and they're going to want me. So in order to not get them to go with me, they're going to have to change. That's how they change. So I'll be the scapegoat, no problem, as long as they change it. So yeah, I think it's gonna work. I think it'll work out. All right. All right.
One
So
second, one second,
now,
Marty. One second, Marty. Let me say something really quick. To a dose of karma and any of the other women that are in here. Again, this is my brother. This is my OG. This is my business partner. A lot of you are familiar with Marty on this app. Some of you may not be familiar. The reason that I even have Marty up here by himself right now is because, he says things that gets a lot of women in their feelings, and a lot of women when they're on the panel with him, they get so in their feelings that they interrupt him, they cut him off, and I don't do that here. I don't tolerate that here. Everyone is respectful here. Everyone gets an opportunity to speak, but this is someone that, it's just been proven, whether it's on my platform, whether it's on other platforms, women get in their feelings too much. So I'm not about to have people cutting him off while he's speaking. When he's done, you can come up here. So to the women in here, y'all can write down things that you want to come up here and address him on what he says. But I am going to have him up here while he addresses this video and speaks on whatever else he wants to speak on by himself. Go ahead, Marty.
all right. So the reason I played that video is because that was Pac at about 16. Now, I believe what age did Tupac die? Do you know?
20 something, right?
Yeah, he was in his 20s.
Maybe 25. Look it
And
up.
yeah, he was 25 years old.
Right.
So this was him at like 16, 17, right? So within 8 years, this young man was dead, and he was a prolific personality and intellect, But unfortunately, in our culture, the dominant narrative for women is to go after men who are, exciting. And I believe that this is because your mama ain't shit. If your mama was shit, then you would have had a father. And if you had a father, you would pick a man that you know your father is going to approve of. But because you don't have a dad where you have to pick somebody that your father approves of, you pick off of what is most exciting. Because God knows how emotional you people are, that your brains are soaked in chemicals that make you more increase anxiety, emotional volatility, um, depression, and neuroticism. So the female brain is soaked in chemicals that make you more emotional,
And when you are young, right, you are as stupid as you are going to be, whether male or female, right? And you have as little control as possible over your emotions as you're ever going to have in your life. As you get older, hopefully, you are progressing and being able to control that. And now, but still, your biological clock tells you that you need to find a man and start reproducing in your 20s, right? So if you don't believe that, then take a look at this. How old, how many of a woman's eggs are gone by 30? Let's take a look at this. So what nature is telling you is that 90% of your eggs are gone by the time you're 30. 90%. You're born with every egg you're going to get when you come into the world, and 90% of them are gone by the time you are 30. So, ladies, I know that because of the society we live in, you want to chase your career and do all this other selfish shit. But if you do want to have children, then you can't spend your 20s in your hoe phase bouncing on the cock carousel. And if your mother didn't see fit to give you a father, then you are infinitely more liable to deal with some dude that you got no business dealing with any goddamn ways. And then, and because there's no father that you got to bring him home to, where you're saying to yourself, my father knocked the shit out of this man. My father racked the shotgun on this man. My father sent me to, he'll take my phone. He'll homeschool me if I brought him home a fool like the one that I've been letting inside of the back spot raw, finishing inside of me, and I'm gobbling his shit up like it's what's for dinner. That is the problem with our community. I was on a live earlier today where one of the questions that was being posed to the women was, is it preferable to be a single mother? And there were women who was like, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Like the women that the dominant narrative in our community, and this isn't all our women, but it's a good bit of our women. It's more than it should be. It's more women than it's not. They don't believe that somehow they need to cooperate with the men of their species to have a stable environment and a potential for the best outcomes. And they think that because they make money and they don't need a man, that their kids don't need a father. And when you look at Tupac, what are you seeing? You're seeing a young man who was sweet and sensitive and creative and loving and caring, who turned into a tattoo, thug life, this, that, and the third, dead by age 25, chasing around what women want, chasing around the type of frame that a woman is looking for. A woman who is outside the direction of a man. A woman who is not under the leadership and headship of a father, right? And so this is why we tell you, y'all got no business leading households. Y'all got no business trying to act like y'all in charge of shit. You need to find a man of character and submit yourself as a wife. That is make your next move your best move and do that. But the problem that you ladies have is that most of you have been taught your body count don't matter. So you've been sitting up, getting digged down, having the back spot behind the back spot get hit. And when that happens, right, what do you get? You get a whole bunch of women that's so used. You get a whole bunch of women that's so used to getting their frame tore out that they can't deal with an average man because they've been dancing around the street and done ran into somebody like me. And now I done pinned your muffin cap back blue and put your legs all the way to the back of your head and dug your soul out of your spine. And now you got to go deal with an average dude and you ain't with that. Something's fucking missing. Listen to her tell you, I got a good man, but something is missing. That is a fatherless woman right there. That's what that is. And as long as we continue to push this baby mama culture in our community, we'll continue to see young men who don't have any man to set an example for them, right? Chasing around women that will bring about their demise, like you saw Tupac. And unfortunately for us, that is what is most dominant in our culture. That is exactly what's most dominant in our culture. And we keep seeing it. And we acting like it's not the case. We're acting like these young men are just doing what they're doing because it's in their nature to be aggressive and violent and all of this shit. And we're overlooking who he was raised by. And we're overlooking the fact that our women have a predilection for this type of fucking bullshit. And at some point, if we want to fix the problem, we're going to have to get honest about the fact, right? We have to get honest about how much power women have over society, right? And over culture. And we're also going to have to get past the fact that a lot of our women are so hypersexual at this point, are so absolutely hypersexual at this point that they are legitimately picking who they're going to have children for, not based off the content of a man's character, but how big his dick is. How about that? What if we get honest about that real quick? That you got a lot of ladies who sit up and kick all this struggle love shit, and it wasn't that you had any struggle love, it's that you ran into a dude that was pounding your brains out, he was fucking the shit out of you, and because he knew how to hit it right, you set up and dealt with him where he was broke and you was out there working. Then you want to turn around and call it struggle love when the truth of the matter is you was just out being a little hoe. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Your struggle love story is not you caring about a man outside of his money. Your struggle love story is a story about you caring about some dick over character. That's what we're really talking about. If we just get real about it for a second, right? If we just honest with each other for a moment, let's be real. I want each one of you ladies to think about your struggle love story. And then I want you with a straight face to say that I wasn't there because he was knocking my guts out the frame. At the time, it was the best dick I had found. It was the best I had found. It was the best I had access to, right? And that's why I behaved this way. And this, ladies, is why your father is supposed to pick your mate. You are not supposed to do it. Here, I got one more video and then I'm going to close this shit out. Noble, listen to this shit. Listen to this shit right here.